this while you can, because these kinds of engines are probably not going to hang around forever. 9 grand! Porsche makes the Macan. It is a compact SUV, and it's a car that does everything really well. It's sporty, it's fun to drive, it hauls you, it hauls your cargo, it can even go on a cottage road towards your cabin. It can drive in the winter, it has all-wheel drive. It's a car that does everything really well. But today, we're not in a Macan. We are in a Porsche 718 GT4 RS, and this car only does one thing. And I'll let you guess what the RS stands for, because that's what this car does well, which is Rennsport, motorsport. And this car is built to do one thing only, and it is go fast, lap times. Porsche even sells cars like the GT3 Touring, which are built to like enjoy the sensation of speed, shift your own gears, and, you know, just enjoy the engine. But no. This one has the famous German sense of humor, which is none. This is a serious car with the even more serious Weissach package. Now, forgive me, this car did come out a couple years ago. I think it came out in late November of 2021 as a 2022 model year, but it's the first time I've had a chance to drive it. So, in case you forgot, in the meantime, let me run you through some of the specs on my phone. In the meantime, we might have to show some stock footage because I'm really on a schedule with this shoot, so I didn't have a chance to shoot a lot of B-roll. My apologies in advance. So the Cliff Note version is that this is a 911 GT3 engine crammed into a Porsche 718 with the modifications needed to do that. The big one is that the 911 GT3 uses a really tall stand-up intake manifold, which isn't really going to work with the mid-engine layout because the engine it's right here. There's nowhere for the intakes to go. So the creative solution was to use, I can't know if you can see it, but they have the intake right here with us. This that I'm touching is the actual intake of the engine. And that's also why this engine is turned off right now, because it is extremely loud. But that gives this car, as you'll see when we're on the road, such an incredible sensation of sound. That 4-liter flat 6 makes just short of 500 horsepower, 493 to be exact, and a okay 331 pound-feet of torque, which is hilariously at 6,700 RPM, because this engine does not quit till 9,000 RPM. This is a screamer. When you turn it on, it's got that real nervous idle of like a motorsport engine that's just ready to go. So what do you get in the Weissach package? Well, you get a little badge here that tells you you bought it. You get a carbon fiber hood. The basic thing is that you get carbon fiber mirror caps, rear wing, and air intakes. It's a weight savings package on an already very lightweight car. And that rear glass is even thinner than it would be stock and even lighter. It also gets you titanium 935 inspired tailpipes, which sound belligerently loud. Like most Porsches, there's like a button here you can toggle the exhaust from loud to quiet. This one just goes from ear splitting to deafening. This is a loud car. And that's not even the most expensive package on this car. This one has the $17,840 magnesium wheels. You heard that right, just shy of $18,000 for wheels. So don't curb these when you're parking, because you won't like it. And parking is difficult because not only does the wing obscure your view at the back, but so does this very cool roll bar that you can't get in Canada. Our laws are just different. They can't certify it. You can't get the roll bar in your GT4 in Canada. Nor can you have what this car has, which is a radio delete. There's nothing here, nothing. There's no stereo, there's no radio, there's no GPS, no backup camera. That is because Canada requires all vehicles sold be equipped with a backup camera. You need a screen to do that, and if you're throwing in a screen, you might as well have speakers. But this car, none. No speakers, no screen, no buttons, nothing. Like I said, this car only does one thing. And the first thing it does is make noise. I'll turn on this cool engine. Key on the left. So do you see what I mean? There's all this nervous energy in this car. It just fizzes at idle. It's like, I'm ready to go. So enough of me talking. Let's hear the engine talk. We'll put the PDK into sport, car into drive, and I'll take you down this quick little pass. So when you start driving this car, the first thing you notice is the noise. And I remind you, this is on quiet mode. This car has 2 modes. I'm not even gonna do the loud one on camera because you would not be able to hear me. But that 4-liter flat 6 Makes all kinds of power, not a ton of torque, as is tradition with high revving, naturally aspirated engines, but the joy is in the sound. Pull that paddle and just let it sing. I mean, you really just can't understand the absolute noise here. When you stand at a rock concert and the kick drum, you feel it in your chest. It's more than noise, it's a percussive sensation at that point. That's what it's like being in here with this thin glass, these carbon fiber parts all around you, the race tires picking up rocks and throwing them against the fenders. It's somewhere in between being inside an engine and a factory is what it sounds like in here, because you don't just get the good parts of the noise, you get all of it. Is what 9,000 RPM sounds like. You gotta love it. And I have the confidence of the optional carbon ceramic brakes, yours for $9,000. The steering ratio is surprisingly, no, I would expect it to be faster in a car like this. Let's hear that engine one more time. Sunglasses have less to chat. I like to say that saying something is a race car for the road is a worn out cliche, but if any car gets close to it, it might be this one, because this is pretty racy, making those carbon ceramic brakes work down this hill. It's weird that shifting at 7,000 RPM is short. So let's talk about the suspension, because it's not just about the motor. As you would expect, this car is serious. It's got adjustable dampers. They're very stiff, but not as stiff as you might imagine. There is even a stiff mode, which I haven't clicked into because this is already pushing it for street. And not just up and down, but laterally. In fact, it's not uncomfortable on the highway, but in the cities, when you hit a pothole with one side of the car, not the other, the car moves laterally pretty quickly, and it's not a comfortable feeling. That's because these seats, which are one-piece carbon fiber buckets, hold you in pretty tight. So we're going back up the hill, work the engine a little more and the brakes a little less. This car starts at $188,000, which is a lot of money, but let me tell you, if you want $9 grand, it only comes here or in a Ferrari. So that's the price point. As you can expect, this one is loaded up with the Visoc package, those magnesium wheels, carbon ceramic brakes. As you see it right now, 265,000 Canadian dollars with some slight changes because no roll bar and you can't get the radio delete, which means you can get the radio. And frankly, that's the most useless radio I've ever seen in my life. You're not going to hear it. Now, the thing is, to get to this amazing road, I had to commute. It took me about an hour and a half to get here from the Porsche factory. I'm not gonna lie, that was a terrible commute. This car is all about one thing, which is going fast. And if you're not, like this guy behind me wants me to go fast, it doesn't like it. So it's kind of turning into a shut up and drive. I hope you don't mind. Try second gear and just let this engine pull RPM. Doesn't like it. Nothing really happens under $4 grand. She likes to run. Now, I've kind of devolved. I'm no longer presenting or reviewing. I'm just having fun, and because that's what this car does to you. It kind of reduces you to a childlike element of just being an animal. Now, it does move around a bit under gas. Tires can only do so much against all that horsepower. And there you have it. A serious lap in a serious car. That is a lot of car to take in. Now, it's not for everyone because, like I said, it only does one thing. But if you want this kind of thrill, this hard edge, gasoline only, go for it, no prisoners kind of car, there's fewer of them every year. And if you have the change, I highly recommend picking one up. Now, I'd be remiss if I said that we were only doing this Porsche, because we're also reviewing the classic Porsche 914, which is tomorrow, and that will actually be a much more sedate experience. So for more sports car reviews and information, don't forget to check out our website at Driving.ca.